Okay, so we're inside of control flow and we're looking at the range and the length functions. And the first thing that we saw is what we saw in the above block of code was we did our really basic range function. So this is really fast to construct. So we have something like for I in range, and then whatever the length of the range is. So for I length range 5, and then we could just print I just like that, and it was really super fast and convenient. So we were able to do that. Let's just put in, I'm going to introduce something slightly new, but print, we just want to put in a placeholder or like a little gap for our stuff. So I'll do I times 10. Remember, in really earlier sections, we are able to do a string and multiply it by a number. It does have a meaning, and it just does this effectively. So we now get like 10 underscores over here. Just a nice little convenient way of doing something. Now, we're going to create a list. So we'll create a list of words. So words equals, and then we're going to do a list of something like, in fact, I've got a list here from some documentation. This one's quite a nice one. So Mary had a little lamb. We've got that list, and what we're going to do is, rather than and this is what we would have done previously. So we would have done for, and this works quite nicely, and for word in words print, and then word. Python does this really conveniently, knocks it out of the park straight away in one line of code. In fact, well, in 2 lines of code, but in fact we can actually do it in 1 line of code, because you could put the print statement over here. So Mary had a little lamb, all in 1 line of code. But we are going to omit that this time, or we'll comment it out. We don't. And what we're going to do instead is we're going to combine the len function with the range function to get this working in a different way. So let's just check out what the length of words is. So we do len of words, just like that, and we'll hit return, and we get 5. So we've got 5 items in here. We could have counted them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 items inside of the list. And instead of doing for word in words, we would do like what we might call the old method. And this is how many of the other languages do this. They use the index value to go through the items. So it'd be something like this for I in range. But this time we want the value 5, exactly in the same way that we had the value 5 here. And the value 5 is this len of words over here. So we can copy this out. In fact, maybe we can even put in a number. So like our number, or how long it is, right? For I in range n, which is 5, we want to print. And then let's print the value of I, and then print the actual range itself. So we'll do words. So and then I. So each element in the words list. So it's going to be words 0, which is the first so the first index will be Mary, then had, then a, then little, and then lamb. So and in fact, like if we just show the Jupyter variables, it will be there. And if I click on words over here, although we can already see it in the values, should pop up, and Mary had a little lamb. It's all being assigned to the list quite conveniently, and these are the indices. So we're going to print out, I'll just do Control J to get rid of that. We'll just print out the index and the actual word. So this is what was done in previous languages. So we would do something like this, and we get Mary had a little lamb, and so we've got the indices. But generally we don't do this in Python. This is a much faster or much more convenient procedure, as you can kind of like see. It's kind of like shortens our code a lot. And the alternative anyway in Python is, if we were going to do this, we might not deploy this for I in range technique, but instead we might do for I comma v in enumerate, and we'll use this enumerate func method. So enumerate, and then words, which is the list that we want to enumerate, And what does this enumerate do? It actually splits out the index and the values from the word. So it will extract the I component. And so I will be the actual index number. So I will be the set of numbers here. And the V or values will be these values over here that comes out. So we would actually do this, and then we would do print I, comma V. So Python offers these quite convenient patterns. We can use this old method. I'll call this the old pattern or old method. This is our, we'll call it the Pythonic method. And finally here we've got the enumerate, we'll call it the enumerate method. So 3 different ways of using a for loop, but in particular we're looking at the convenience of range. Range can be used in a replication of the old method. And I'll just take this print here just to separate all of these out so that we can see this whole bunch of everything that we get. So we've got our Pythonic method over here. We've got our old method over here, and finally we've got the other method. They're all going to produce the same set of outcomes there. Here is our Pythonic way. Here is our, if we did want to get, this is our old method over here, and if we did want to get the index and the value parts out of it, we could have used the enumerate method as well. So that's generally for loops, and also more precisely the range and the len function and how we use them inside of for loops.